On October 27, 2009, League of Legends launched with just 40 champions. Simple, accessible, and easy to grasp. Each one had clear strengths, weaknesses, and straightforward abilities. Fast forward to 2025 and the roster has grown to over 160 champions. But it's not just the numbers that have changed. We went from champions with concise, easy to understand spells and clear passives designed to be learned in mere moments, to modern champions whose abilities come with paragraphs of intricate details, where one ability's description can be longer than the entire kit of some early champions. This raises an interesting question. Has champion complexity elevated League to new heights, or has it turned balancing into an endless nightmare? League's champion roster didn't just grow in numbers, it evolved in philosophy. In the early days, champions like AP Sion, AP Master Yi, and Kassadin were notorious for being OP, yet their kits were very straightforward. Their power often came down to raw numbers and one-dimensional designs that, while game-breaking at times, were straightforward enough to be balanced through tweaks in stats. As League evolved, however, champion designs began to pack more complexity into every ability. Fast forward to 2025 and we're looking at champions like Cassante and Ambessa, figures whose overloaded kits aren't just about high damage numbers, but the labyrinth of interactions, complex passives, and multi-phase abilities. So where do we draw the line? At what point does champion complexity enhance the game, and when does it start working against it? To answer that, we need to explore how champion design has evolved over the years, starting from League's simpler origins. In the early days of champion design, a select few broke the mold of simplicity and introduced a new level of mechanical skill. Take Akali, for example. When she debuted, her fluid movement and stealth mechanics set her apart from the straightforward champions of League's launch. By that time, the only two champions that actually had high mobility were Nidalee and Kassadin, but their kits couldn't even come close to Akali's kit with triple dash, invisibility, and the insane amount of damage output. It was also by this time that Deathfire Grasp and Hextech Gunblade were rampant on the Rift, two items that Akali could utilize like almost no other. Her design demanded a blend of precision and timing that hinted at what high skill play could be. Shortly after, Lee Sin emerged as yet another game changer. Most of us remember Insec and how he revolutionized the way players thought about Lee Sin, especially the way he showcased skill expression through ward jumps and by that time, the most creative ways of using Lee Sin's ultimate, Dragon's Rage. Then came Riven, whose masterful animation cancels and intricate combo sequences demanded a new level of mechanical precision. Not long after, Zed burst onto the scene, introducing innovative shadow-based mechanics that redefined the assassin archetype and challenged players to think in new, different ways. Shortly following, Yasuo arrived, with a combination of high mobility and his game-changing windball, completely removing certain skill shots without any downsides, which League had never seen before. These champions weren't just another addition to the game. They revolutionized League by blending straightforward strengths with an extraordinary depth of skill, setting a new standard for what it meant to master a champion. It was against this backdrop of evolving complexity that a new champion emerged. A champion whose elaborate kit and sky-high skill ceiling took the revolution one step further. And said champion was Azir, a real balancing nightmare still to this date. His journey in competitive play, both on the pro stage and in solo queue, shows just how challenging his intricate kit has been for Riot to manage. In the pro scene, Season 6 saw Azir explode onto the stage, with pick rates above 50% and win rates near 55%, proving himself a game-changing force. But by Season 7, a barrage of nerfs and adjustments came along, sending his pick rate below 5%. Then, in Season 8 and 9, he made a dramatic comeback. His win rate surged once again above 50%. Season 10 brought moderation, only for Season 11 to see another sharp drop. His pick rate fell once more under 5%. In Season 12 and 13, his resilience shone through, as he featured in 1207 and 1773 pro games respectively. Here I have to highlight something Riot intentionally does, and that is balancing champions specifically around pro play.
Why are some characters only balanced for the 0.01%? Because we'll start out with, there's 160 champions in League of Legends, so not every champion needs to be for you. And I know that's rough because sometimes a champion that you want to be for you isn't, and like, that sucks. I'm not saying that doesn't suck, it definitely sucks. The vast majority of League of Legends players watch pro and care about pro, and so even though not every League of Legends player plays pro, Pro is popular enough with players in general in terms of being a watched thing that it's still incredibly important that it's well balanced and fun.
Shortly after Azir, Kalista was released, and here it's the same story. Very high presence in pro play, but an absolute rollercoaster in solo queue. From 2018 to 2020, her popularity amongst Platinum Plus players was sub 5%, with her win rate never really going above 50%, while her presence and win rate in pro play by that time was astonishing. But we cannot talk about balancing nightmares without mentioning that one specific champion, Ryze. While he wasn't released during the Azir Kalista era, Ryze stands as a living testament to the challenges of champion complexity. With more reworks than any other champion in League's history, his kit, built around chaining spells into devastating combos, has always been a double-edged sword. I could easily dedicate an entire video to Ryze's endless balancing struggles and rework history. His story alone shows just how hard Riot has fought to find the right balance for him. Either way, he ends up too OP in the right hands or in a very weak state as he is in 2025. But those are just a few champion examples. Surely this doesn't apply to all the other champions released, right? Well, amongst the 47 champions released after Kalista, we've seen this time and time again. In May 2018, Pyke was released, and his kit was more than overloaded. Hearing his name always brings back memories of MSI 2019, where in Game 5 against no other than SKT, G2 picked Pyke top lane, and well, the rest is history. It doesn't always have to be either pro play or solo queue skew to become a balancing nightmare. Released in May 2019, Yuumi was terrorizing solo queue as well as pro play. What was meant to be a very basic and straightforward, easy to use champion became something that almost every player disliked, in pro play and in solo queue.
What's the most annoying champion they ever play against?
Yuumi?
Yuumi needs to be gone.
That's a solid one. I was thinking about this one. I think I would just remove Yuumi, yeah.
The champion is just so annoying, and I don't think it should be allowed that you have to press this little buttons in a game and still win. Be like a minimum amount of button presses that Yuumi is for sure under.
我这样删除英雄应该是猫咪。
猫咪。
猫吧？
把猫删了吧？
猫咪吧？删除猫咪吧。
我问一下设计师，猫咪这个英雄是谁设计的？
She was so strong that eventually picks such as Garen Yuumi bot lane became the new meta.
Is this Garen Yuumi bot lane? Garen bot lane! What? Did you guys know about this? You can see the damage numbers coming out. The Pope champions, funnily enough, having the highest damage.
It doesn't stop there. Aphelios, who was released shortly after Yuumi, was revolutionizing marksman entirely with his ability to swap to so many different weapons, which for way too long was absurdly overloaded and led to Aphelios becoming one of the most played champions within pro play during season 10 to season 13. While Aphelios was very popular in pro play, his win rate within solo queue was nothing short of a disaster, with sub 44% win rate at times. The list goes on and on. Yone, Viego, Zeri, Cassante, Smolder, and Ambessa have all had their fair share of buffs, nerfs, reworks, and adjustments. With so much change, fluctuating win rates, new champions, and bi-weekly patches, we have to ask ourselves the question: has the increasing champion complexity hurt League of Legends? All of these constant tweaks, overloaded mechanics, and endless patch notes might seem chaotic at first glance. But if we had stuck with the simple champion designs of Season 1 and 2, would League really be where it is today? In today's fast-moving, competitive landscape, those straightforward kits would likely feel stale and predictable. Instead, we get intense 1v1s, where every pixel of movement and frame of reaction time matters. We see masterful positioning in chaotic teamfights, where the difference between victory and defeat comes down to a split-second decision. And beyond raw mechanics, League has become a battleground of innovation, of meta picks shaping the meta, unexpected strategies rewriting the rules, and players constantly redefining what's possible. From calculated lane swaps to creative champion flexes, the game thrives on this endless evolution. Another aspect to consider is that champions with complex kits offer more tuning levers for balancing due to their numerous variables and ratios. This may allow for more nuanced adjustments without compromising the champion's core identity, something that is harder to achieve with simpler kits like those of Malphite, Malzahar, or Master Yi, where even minor stat changes can drastically alter their power level. Champion complexity isn't just about making individual champions harder to balance, it's about adding layers of strategy and skill that keep the game evolving. This high skill ceiling drives players to grind for hours, perfecting intricate combos and mastering split-second decisions. It's also why watching pro play at MSI or the World Championship is so exhilarating. When teams execute near flawless maneuvers, you witness the true reward of relentless pursuit of mastery. Okay, sure, the path to balance balance has been rocky, with champions swinging from overwhelming dominance to near absence after each patch, but this evolution has propelled League to new heights. And let's not forget the balancing and champion design teams, who constantly struggle to deliver thrilling, innovative champion designs while keeping the game fair, which is a monumental task. This relentless drive for innovation demands that players, whether in coordinated teams or solo queue, continuously adapt and improve. While it may mean a steeper learning curve, it also ensures that every match is filled with dynamic moments of brilliance and innovation, experiences that the simplicity of early champion designs simply could not provide. So is champion complexity a curse that bogs the game down, or a blessing that fuels its evolution? In our opinion, it's a net positive, a driving force behind the intense, dynamic, and unforgettable gameplay we see at the highest levels. Without these intricate designs, would League of Legends be as thrilling today? We believe not. What's your take on champion complexity? Let us know in the comment section below.